Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to be doing this cat-eye design. I don't really know like how to describe it or what to call it. Like everything is just kind of like drippy when it with this design, but anyhow, I'm going in with Cuffing Season from Ball Pit, and I am painting all of the nails with this. I did end up doing 2 coats of this, and I cured each coat for 60 seconds. I have just been in love with cat eye nails, as are a lot of people within the nail community. That is definitely the biggest nail trend right now. I also feel like it's been like the longest nail trend that has been going on, and I just feel like there's like a whole lot of different things that you can do with cat eye, and there's always something new someone is discovering that you can do with it. So I feel like that's why it has been trending for so long. And just like all the different variations of cat eye polishes, like some are more glittery than others, some are more shimmery, some have that like water-like effect with it, so it looks more like water and less like glitter. So cat eye has just been is super versatile, and there's like so much you can do with it. So that's why I feel like it's been super popular here recently. And just like everybody else, I've been absolutely loving it and been wanting to just do cat eye designs on like everything, and just wanting to do all kinds of different cat eye designs. So I decided just kind of play around today with a new cat eye gel polish that I had gotten that I thought was really pretty, and I really wanted to do something with it. So that's kind of what I'm doing here in this video. So after I got all the nails painted, I'm going to use the black from Ball Pit to do all of my designs. For 2 of the nails, I think it was the pinky and the thumb, I'm doing some drips. And the way that I do drips is I take my dotting tool, do a dot, and then drag it up the nail to create that like drip look, and then I will go in with my liner brush and like create the part that those drips are coming from. So like the main, I guess, like goo part, or if you're doing like blood drips, the main like blood part, up towards like the cuticle area, or if you're doing it from the free edge up towards the free edge area. And then like I fill in that top area. Well, actually I go in and I connect the little drips together with little like curved, almost like U shapes, and then I will fill in the top area there to make it look like they're dripping down from like one big glob of goop or something. If that makes any sense. So here is where I was talking about how I do like the curved lines, almost like a U, to connect the drip lines together. And like with this part, you can make it go up as high as you want or as low as you want. It's really up to you and the way you want your drips to look. But then after I get those connected, I do fill in that area there. Usually, and you'll see me do this on the thumbnail, usually I do all the like U's first and then go in and fill in that space. I don't know why I did it differently with this nail. But I do also connect like the drips to the all the way to the edge of the nail to continue the drip all the way across the nail, because how it looks right now with just the drips like there in the middle, it kind of looks a little weird. I mean, if that's the look you're going for, you can obviously do that, but like that wasn't what I wanted to do or how I do my drips and how I like my drips to look. So I do continue it all the way across the nail, and I just do another little like U shape or like a C or curve, whatever you want to call that, to connect it to the edge as if there's another drip off the nail that I'm trying to connect to the drip that is on the nail. And I do just want to mention that before going in and doing any nail art on top of the nails, I did go ahead and wipe them off with alcohol to remove that sticky layer, because like I always say, the sticky layer does cause the polish that you put on top to spread out a little bit, kind of like a blooming gel, but not to the same effect as a blooming gel. Like, it doesn't spread out as much as a blooming gel, but it does spread enough to make your nail, or not your nails, make your lines a little whiter and not be as crisp and clean as you may have laid it down as. So I do always recommend to wipe off that sticky layer before going in with any nail art. Some people do also apply a matte top coat before going in with any nail art, but I personally don't like to do that because that's just adding another layer onto the nail that, depending on what you're doing and how much nail art you're doing on top, could potentially end up bulking up the nail. So that is why I like to just wipe off the sticky layer with alcohol. That way I'm not adding another layer onto the nail, and also I don't have to, you know, wait for something to cure. It's just like one less step that I have to do, and I can just get straight into the nail art. For the pointer and the ring nail, I did kind of like an abstract kind of French tip. So I just did like a squiggly line going from one side of the nail to the other, and like on one side it was higher up and it like went down at like kind of an angle down to the other side, and then just filled that all in. And then for the middle nail, I decided to do some like kind of like melted smiley faces. So for this first one here, it was supposed to be like two smiley faces kind of like melted into each other. So I started out by drawing on two different circles kind of like connected to each other, but I ended up not liking how that was looking, so then I did it a little differently. I kind of basically did the same shape but without like connecting them in the middle. You will see that in a minute. Like I said before, I am not always the best at describing things, so it's like a good thing that you can actually see what I'm doing and like watch what I'm doing instead of just listen to what I'm saying, because I feel like if you were to just sit there and listen to me try to explain what to do, you're gonna be so lost and not know what to do. It actually reminds me of, like, I don't know if you guys ever did how to do this in school, but like in elementary school, like for the younger kids, I feel like you don't really do this. I remember doing this in like kindergarten or like first grade or something, where like you had to explain how to, or like write down the instructions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you had to like give as much detail or as much instruction as possible to be able to create like an actual peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I remember when we did this, like everybody wrote down their instructions, and then my teacher read them and actually like made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the way that the instructions of every kid wrote down. And it's like, no one, I mean, like the instructions, they seemed pretty straightforward, but then when you like actually saw the teacher like making the sandwich and stuff, you realize like, oh, I wasn't as detailed or like gave the correct instructions or like explained things very well. That's kind of like the same kind of feeling I get whenever I'm like describing how to do certain things when it comes to nail art. Like some stuff I can explain and tell you how to do it perfectly fine, and then there's other times where I'm like trying to figure out like the correct wording or like how to describe something, and I'm always like, oh, you do like a little squiggle or you do a curve or something, and I'm like, that's real descriptive and real helpful. But like I said, thankfully you get to watch what I'm doing and see how I'm doing it versus just listening to me try to explain very poorly how to do it. But anyhow, I did this, and then I did a few other like drippy, melting, smiley faces. And then once I got all of those on, I did go ahead and cure all of the nails for a full 60 seconds. the cat eye that I'm using is the Bride from Ball Pit. This was a limited edition gel polish. It did sell out, but then she restocked it. I will leave it linked down below, but by the time this video goes up, I'm not 100% sure if it will still be in stock or not. But if you are interested in getting this cat eye, I will have it linked down below so you can check it out and see if it is still in stock. There's also one called the Groom. They were both limited edition. Again, they both sold out pretty quickly when she released them, and then she did just restock them. But like I said, I don't know if they will be in stock by the time this video goes up. But the Bride is this really pretty like pink cat eye, but then it shifts to like a gold color, and then sometimes it also shifts a little bit green. And then the Groom cat eye is a blue cat eye that shifts to like a purpley pinky color. They're super pretty colors, and I really love this one right here, the Bride. I think it is super pretty, and I love like the way it shifts. Like I said, it's like mainly pink, but it does shift to like kind of a goldish color, and sometimes even shifts to be a little bit of a green color, which is super cool. But anyhow, I'm just using my liner brush and going over everything that I already did. So I'm just putting it over the little drips here, and then I go in with my magnet and magnetize it, bring all those pieces up, and just kind of move them around however I felt like I wanted them to be on each design. And then I did flash cure each nail after doing it, just to lock in the cat eye, the way I moved the pieces around. And so because they do tend to, like, if you just leave them sit there, they will kind of go back to how they were when you originally applied. So you do have to kind of flash cure in between. But then after I got all of the nails done, I did go ahead and do a full 60-second cure to make sure that everything was completely cured. And then for the smiley faces that I'm doing, I am doing each smiley face individually. So I do this one here where it's the two connected, magnetize that, and then flash cure that, and then I move on to the next smiley face, apply the gel polish, magnetize it, flash cure it, until I get all of them all done. And then, like I said, once I got all of it completely done, I did go ahead and cure for a full 60 seconds. And then once I got all of that cured, I went back in with my liner brush and just drew on the faces. So for this one up top, the mouth is just all connected across both of them, and then they each have their own individual eyes. And for the eyes, I did use a dotting tool. And then for two of the smiley faces, I did little like X's for the eyes, so I did end up using my liner brush for that. But I definitely should have wiped off the sticky layer off of this cat eye polish. I completely forgot to do that, and it did make it a little difficult to paint on top of it, because not only does having that sticky layer kind of make your lines and dots and stuff spread, but it also makes it like kind of slippery to paint on. So the polish just kind of slips and slides and doesn't go on very evenly, or you have to go over it a couple times to get it even. So that's just another reason why I say to wipe that sticky layer off before going in on top of anything. Now I'm taking my shiny top coat from LGN and top coating all the nails, and once I get that applied, I went ahead and cured for 60 seconds. this is the finished result. I really love how these came out. I think they're super fun, and they kind of give a little bit of like a trippy kind of effect with them, especially on like those melted smiley faces, because the cat eye, like if you look at it at certain angles, just kind of like disappears and you just see the black, which is really cool. And like the faces kind of disappear a little bit. Here under the lights, you can see kind of that shift between the pink and like the gold. You can't really see the green shift that happens sometimes depending on the angle. You can definitely see it a lot more in person. And it is such a cool shift. Like it'll go from like the pink to the gold, and then when it goes back to like the pink from the gold is when it kind of does that green shift. But like I said, it's really hard to see it on camera. You can kind of see it on this one when I like put it down almost, but like I said, it's really hard to see, and it's way easier to see it in person. But overall, I think this is a really cool set. And like I said in the beginning, everything is just kind of like drippy like you have the drips coming down from the cuticle area. The like French tip, abstract French tip is kind of like it almost looks like the French tip is like melting off the nail or something. And then you have those faces there that are just like melty and like melting into each other. And then it's so cool because under the flash here, you just really see the pink. Even in person, like you just really see the pink and you don't really get that gold kind of look. But then when you see it like in the sunlight or under like my filming lights, you can see the pink and like gold shift. So this cat eye is super cool, and it's definitely one of my favorites that I have. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.